If the behind-the-scenes camera work displays gaps in logic, we could conclude that everything shot in black and white is suspect, filmed by an unreliable narrator. The universe shows it's been tampered, and the laws of time and space slipping. We wouldn't describe this as supernatural. A pattern will emerge, however. Don't believe everything your lying eyes see. That's something Carmichael Hague would advise. Illusions in late night take literal and metaphoric meanings. Reality starts to warp. Like I explained, reality is perspective. Sure, Lily levitating in the air may have been a real supernatural event, but is accused as staged. By looking at June's reaction, she may have been caught with a hypnosis hoax of her own. Carmichael Hague's demonstration pushes the boundaries of belief and verisimilitude, but the way it does it is weird and disturbing if you accept the lore of a so-called found footage film. The recorded in front of a live audience footage clearly shows Gus McConnell with worms bursting out of him. Most of the entire audience succumbed to illusion, as did the gullible Gus. A recorded playback shows a different reality you may describe as the ground truth. There will be those who will say, "This is harmless, fun storytelling." I think it's diabolical. Geez, is hypnosis that easy? Did you notice that a videotape of the live skit shown on stage showed no worms, while the videotape of the live skit you watched did? The difference? We were watching through our own portal, but was Carmichael Hague just that good? He may be, but the point is by now in the film, you can't trust what you see. It's Halloween night, 1977, and we have a new definition of now. The broadcast appears to run linear in real time, without apparent jumps in time. At least that is how it's disguised. On the other hand, you've heard the phrase, time is relative. It's relative because it depends on perspective. We're watching a broadcast unfold as if it was live, knowing it was recorded. Sometimes, within the videotape broadcast, are occasions where footage is replayed from the past. Because we implicitly understand the rules, we're not left confused or disoriented. What are those rules? You guessed it, portals. Through a different monitor or television screen, we see a different reality. That different reality may be a different place, time, or simply a different angle, a different point of view. Why am I going through with a mundane monologue over something so technologically ubiquitous? Well, the idea of television and taped recordings is a hook that allows us to believe distortions, since it's in another reality. The portal is a gateway between two worlds. Quickly, very quickly indeed, reality will break apart. The glass in between will not save us. What if the glass making up the television screen cannot separate the two realities? Remember, when I said the portal doesn't always represent a window into a different universe, but they can. You've seen this before in Ring, where a ghostly character, Samara, crosses the threshold from one world into another. If you want me to tackle the Ring movie, comment below. The television monitor encapsulates windows of time. Lily, chained as the summoned demon, Mr. Wiggles, makes a conditional appearance. Evidence of interdimensional crossovers surface, beginning with a ghostly appearance of Minnie, Jack's deceased wife, who is captured by home media. While this exact image goes unmentioned, another more ghastly one emerges. After a video replay vindicates Carmichael Hague's incredible performance, it is followed by a review of the tape summoning from June Ross Mitchell. We see through the static and glitches the eerie apparition of Minnie. The recorded video captured Minnie when the human eye could not. If you reverse the film, we won't see the ghost of Minnie where we should have. This could likely be creative license, as we're not supposed to see the apparition until the story was ready for her. Or maybe her ghost manifested into the media later. There is evidence that Abraxas was influencing the performance well before. When Jack sees the ghost of his wife putting her hand on his shoulder in the recording, we get an immediate cut to the live broadcast, and Minnie's hand is still there. This is further proof that the supernatural is making their way from one dimension of reality up into another. They are climbing their way up through windows of time through different worlds. From here, all hell breaks loose becomes more than a metaphor. Lily becomes the devil incarnate, and we see energy drawn from a monitor. Gus, June, and Haig are each disposed of, one after the other, while holding up a symbol of their belief system. While I don't know if this is clever subtext about personal perspectives, it is rather curious. There is mass hysteria, and we get a glimpse of a roving cameraman validating the behind-the-scenes filming. If you want to reach for a deeper meaning, we could say at this moment of mayhem that the illusions of Hollywood were crashing, and taking its place was something more demonic. Meanwhile, Leo Fisk begs Jack to exit with him. We watch Jack hesitate, stepping behind a sliding panel as he sees his career comes to an end. This panel is where Jack and his guests make their entrance. This too is sort of a portal. It is a gateway between backstage and onstage, where everyone is expected to put on a performance. But we've seen Jack use this as an escape route earlier when the show turns unfriendly on him. From here, it's not only Jack who will lose his footing what reality is, but so will we. The show's broadcast comes to an end, but not the network's transmission. At least this is one theory, since we see a title card reminding us of technical difficulties. Up to now, we could assume this was part of the found footage. And then, we are pulled into Jack's nightmares. Scene after scene are partial recreations of past events as experienced in the opening narration, but with morbid additions. Were Jack's memories part of the over-the-air broadcast? My theory is that our vision of Jack was clairvoyance, jumping through time and space. We're no longer watching the found footage from a distance, but are part of it. When the title card returns, it has an eerie distortion as well as warped music. We haven't returned to our universe. We're still stuck in Jack Delroy's version of hell. There are visual cues that this may be a hypnotic trance, being seduced into believing something too good or too evil to be true. Jack pleads with the audience to turn off their televisions. Portals, as I described them to you. The only way to escape is to close the gateway. There is a short scene tipping off Jack's deal at the Grove, where we see the leader of the satanic cult. This means the Grove, the network, and Abraxas are all related. Once again, Jack walks through the sliding panel, but this time it leads to the deathbed of his wife, Madeline. It is implied the conversation between Jack and Minnie is in front of a live audience, at least in theory. In any case, this is a nightmare with all the anxieties that come with one. We learn Jack sacrificed his wife's life for fame, and in his great remorse and regret, ends Minnie's suffering using the cult's ritual dagger. One thing that didn't occur to me watching the first couple times, these dream sequences were nightmarish reflections of the past. Therefore, the context was based on actual events. So, you could take this as a hint that Jack perhaps helped end Minnie's suffering the first time around. This was something he kept secret, but a secret that the devil knew well. We begin to wonder when Jack's alleged relationship with June began and accelerated Madeline's death to finally be rid of her. Like a snap of Carmichael Haig's finger, we are brought out of our hypnosis with Jack, who stabbed Lily on live television right before the network cuts the feed and the documentary comes to an end. There are a couple clues that make us question the reality we return to. The first is the camera angle we catch Jack with Lily's body with. Rather than resort to filming from one of the position stage cameras, it's an unnatural, maybe impossible angle, especially for an abandoned studio. Like the behind-the-scenes footage, there's enough to have us question if this is an illusion, sort of like what Jack is going through. The second clue is the simple text of "So it is done." Could this be the supernatural tampering with recorded media? Or quite possibly a deliberate message from the network who had set this up to sacrifice Jack? We hear the quote dropped very early.
And so it is done!
The deal was giving Jack the highest rated late night show ever. Once he achieved that on a certain Halloween night, the contract was considered fulfilled and payment due. And like his show, Jack will be canceled too. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment below if you want to see more theories from Late Night with the Devil. This is Mr. G of Synergy saying, sometimes the scariest Halloween costume is a business suit. Check out other videos on the channel. Thanks for watching.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by the Cavendish Group of Companies. Let's shake on it.